Hello and welcome to A Cat in the Garden. It was a very chilly morning, but I was able to stumble out of bed and make it down to Austin today. I'm at Tillery Street Plant Company. It's been a little while since I've been here, and I know a lot of what they have is covered up in frost cloths right now, but I do want to get some cold crop veggies and replace some of my herbs that died this year. And we'll just look at the greenhouse, see what they have. I feel like it's gonna be nice and warm in there, so it'll be a good kind of break from the cold, and it'll just be fun to do some shopping, some window shopping, some looking around, see if I find anything that strikes my fancy. I'm really not looking for houseplants today, but I don't know, if I see something that I feel like I have to have, then we'll get it. But I just want to have a fun morning, so that's what we're gonna do. And it's always fun coming to Tillery, and I'll show you guys all the row covers that they have. It's really cool how they protect all the plants here, and we'll just have fun. So let's get to shopping. Okay, it's way warmer than I thought I was gonna be. So these are the row cover setups, so they just cover them at night. Oh, there's some little mandavillas. Okay. I don't think I want any flowers. There is Swiss chard back there though, so I'll think about that. I can never have too much Swiss chard. But this is how everything is pretty much covered at night. Oh, I bought one of these recently. It actually survived the freeze. Did pretty well. Lots of things covered. But we'll head over and look at a houseplants because it'll be nice and warm in there. So it was a bit more crowded than I thought it was going to be today. I thought this cold was going to scare people away. I was wrong, but that's okay. So I'll just do a voiceover for this greenhouse, but everywhere else I went in the plant shop nursery, I was able to record and be alone. So if you can just bear with me for this, then I appreciate it. So we're going a different way today. Sometimes I like to change it up. I usually go to the Hoya area first, but I figured I would go down along the snake plants and the ferns and all sorts of different things and go straight to the in-house propagations. And of course, Saffron is putting in her input as well. They had a bunch of these tiny little Philodendron gloriosum for $14. And I forget what that was some sort of Monstera, I think, that I couldn't pronounce. They had a lot of that as well. And a Monstera Peru, I can pronounce that one. That is $12. I think they only had one of it. There is a little silver sword there that I didn't pick up. This is called a Philodendron Narrow. It has a little bit of dirt on it, but I promise it's fine. It was $26. Not sure if that one was an in-house propagation or not, because normally their props are a bit smaller, but you never know. There was a small Thai constellation for $55. That was the only one. And then this beautiful Gisenia pothos. It had gorgeous variegation on it. I was a bit jealous. Mine is definitely not that variegated. It was $24, which I feel like is a great deal for a full trailing basket of that plant. They also still had a few of those cross vines that I saw last time I was here. They are $36. The leaves are just so thin. I feel like I would kill them as much as I would want them around. They also had these big billies. I didn't see the price until later when I was shopping, but they are $75, which I think is a steal for a plant that big. And they also had a ton of these Amedrium silver plants. They are $24. I was trying to find like a really pretty one, but I mean, they all looked pretty good for the most part. That was like the worst one that I happened to pick up second there, but that's okay. You can see the rest of them look really, really good. There's nice fenestrations on them. And back behind, there are Philodendron brantianums that are on a sort of trellis situation. Not my favorite heartleaf philodendron, but you know, some people like it. I just don't like how it is really difficult to get to size up. So they also had a lot of ficus that I just passed, And they did have some Hoya, but not a lot. They had this Lacanosa sulcata for $30. They had a little plant that did not belong there, a little euphorbia. I don't know where that was supposed to be, but certainly not in here. They had the Croniana Black for $12, quite a few of those actually. I think they had the most of that one. There were some Rosita for $16 in a bit of a bigger pot. I think that's 4-inch. Do you want to say 4-inch for that? There were some Curtisii. There's a Lacanosa mint coin for $42. I think that is absolutely worth the price. I paid a little bit less for mine, but mine was a little smaller. And I just love it. So I think it's always going to be worth it. This, I think, was a Houseplants, but it didn't really have a name on it. There were also the variegated Wyetii for $16. Very full looking, intervariegated. So it's not my favorite, but you know. And then I was pointing to more of the Lacanosa, the outer variegated Macrophylla for $24, though I do believe it has been renamed to Latifolia. So basically just a small Hoya section. I think that was a regular, like a silver Croniana. My sweater was in the way of the tag on that one, but it's okay. And then I did find a few hanging basket Hoya. It was really hard to see them because they were very backlit. That one did look like a fungi from what I could tell, but I was basically just pointing my camera up into the sun. And I think there was some sort of Carnosa in there also. Yeah, I think that one was either a very non-splashy pubic calyx or a Carnosa. Again, it was hard to tell. I was literally looking at the sun for that, but that's okay. They were really big, full baskets. And then this is where I saw the price of the Billies. They were $75. And for a plant that big, it's not my favorite. I don't love orange plants, but that is such a good deal for a plant of that size. And then I found my favorite Alocasia, and if I ever get an Alocasia again, it will be this one. It is the Alocasia scalprum. It is a lot hardier than some of the jewel Alocasias. I find that the ones that get bigger last longer for me. I don't kill them quite as quick. But then they had a bunch of little baby Alocasias like this Maharani. They were all $10. This is a mellow. It is the one jewel Alocasia I would get again as well because it's just my favorite with the texture and just how beautiful it looks. I really miss having that one in my collection. And this was a Jacqueline, and this one was just called an Alocasia Lime. I've never heard of that before, but I'm assuming it's a larger growing type of Alocasia. And this was a fried egg. You could already see the little velvety leaves. They look so cute in the morning light. A little bit of sport variation maybe, but it's not enough where I would think it would continue. And I'd probably just kill it anyway. They also had a Cupria. They had some larger Cupria as well as dragon scale. They weren't looking their best, but they were pretty cheap and a lot more scalprum there. There were also some other like little prop looking plants that weren't Alocasia. This Aglaonema I thought was cool. I think it had a tasteful amount of pink. I don't love pink on my Aglaonema. I prefer when they look like this white rain here. I just really love a green plant. Which, I know that's not like a crazy take or anything because most plants are green, but pink ones just aren't my favorite, pink and orange plants in general. I'm going to skip through some of the common pothos and things like that because they're always here. That was very full. I did find a bunch of Rojo Congo looking beautiful. I think this was a green Congo also. They just looked so pretty. Another big Billy, and then of course some Philodendron Summer Glory. They were huge. Saffron agrees. Yes, thank you, sweetie. They are just so pretty, and I look at mine being so small and I'm like, man, I should have waited for a larger one. The leaves were bigger than my head. I feel like the plant was bigger than my whole body. They were just so cool. And I was going around looking for prices. It was kind of hard to see. I had to duck underneath the plants a little bit. But they were all pretty reasonable. Like I said, the Billies were $75. I want to say the green Congo might have been $62, something like that. But like I said, pretty good deal for those. They also had these pink princesses. I want to say they were 20, 24, something like that. And they had fantastic variegation. This is why I would not buy a pink princess from a big box store because they don't have good variegation, and the ones here do. I also found the Philodendron species Columbia. I had a really hard time getting one out. They were all tangled up together, but they were looking really healthy. It's just that they were a little bit tangled. The new leaves looked great. That was the newest leaf on that plant. Just looked really healthy, really full. They were grown from propagations, it looked like, but they were sizing up really quickly. Thank you, Saffron. I really appreciate the input. And there were a bunch of other little baby terrarium plants here. I always love the texture on that one. I think it's a pilea. And they had some really big calatheas as well. That one was 42, and I honestly think it's worth it for the Calathea ornata. I have one. It's my last Calathea, and it's on a little bit of the struggle bus right now because I had to move it, but hopefully I can get it back in its optimal location soon. These were the sort of rehab sale plants. Not too much there today. And then the begonias. They were freshly stocked just like everything else in the greenhouse. Again, I will say this every time, I really don't know anything about begonia. They're not my kind of plant, but I know a lot of people like them, so I like to show off one or two every time I'm here because they have a really good selection at Tillery. There were a bunch of carnivorous plants, some ferns, terrarium plants, all that good stuff. I am working on, I think I mentioned it in a video a while ago, I want to do a terrarium for my husband, so I need to research what kind of plants I want to get for that. And then the morning sun was just really hitting some of the display plants and hanging plants in the greenhouse, and it looked so, so beautiful. So I wanted to take a minute to show all of those off. It just looked so, so pretty in the morning light. I really love when I can get down here in the morning and just enjoy the glow of the greenhouse. I think it's the prettiest time to be in here. Sometimes I don't get down to Austin until the afternoon, but I just think it's so, so pretty. So before I left, I just kind of meandered around the greenhouse a little bit, and I really enjoyed it. I thought it was a pretty nice morning. It wasn't too crowded in here, but there were some people, but it was overall a really nice trip. It's packed in here. How nice is this? Savory, I don't need that. Those leeks look really good. Oh, there's so much. Okay, I need time because I lost time in my one bed with the kale. So I will come back for that. Calendula, it's such a pretty flower. Oh, one's blooming. I think it's the one in the back. Ooh. It does not want to come out. But that is such a pretty flower. Leave that up front. Got dill. Dill is a good one. Oh, I do need to replace the dill that I had that died. Oh, these are beautiful. These are just so pretty. Oh, that is gorgeous. And they have the prettiest flowers too. I do want to replace the sage, but I wanted a variegated one. And I don't see it. So that might have to wait. They moved all the citrus in here. Oh, they have variegated citrus trees. That is a dream to own one of those for sure. And here's the veggie side. That was the herb side over there. It's cabbage, kale. Getting another kale could be fun. Bok choy. I am having issues starting my bok choy seeds, so maybe getting one could be helpful. There's some dragon fruit, though it looks like it's a little cold damaged. Spinach, Collards, I do have enough collards. I don't think our season's long enough for Brussels sprouts. Lettuce, more Swiss chard. I love the peppermint chard, those grow really well here. Rhubarb, I cannot seem to get that to grow here at all. Ooh, I could use more strawberries too. Okay, I might have to pick out a flat because I couldn't find any baskets anywhere, and just pick out what I want and put it in the flat. Hopefully I can find an empty one, but it seems they've really filled this up with the freezes that we've been getting this week, which is smart. But it looks really nice and full and lush in here, so I'll just give y'all a little overview of how pretty it looks today. The seeds are also stocked up. There's some good stuff in here. I don't quite know yet what I still need, but it's nice to know they're restocked in here. Everything looking really full. All tucked in. That was actually such a successful shopping trip. The greenhouses are stocked to the brim here. I know they had to bring some plants inside because of the freeze, but there is still so much available that I was not expecting. And it was awesome. It was nice. There were more people than I expected to be here this morning just because it's been so cold. I know it is a Saturday that I'm here, but it was still full of people, which was all right. I mean, good for them. I always prefer shopping when it's not so crowded, but it's okay. I still had a really good time, and the veggie greenhouse was actually empty when I went in it. So I had a lot of fun just perusing by myself. I found 10 different herbs and veggies to get, which is awesome. I got the thyme. I got 2 dill because I had to replace the one that died. I got another Swiss chard that I didn't need, but I wanted it anyway. And I got 2 bok choy. I got some kale. I got 2 more strawberries. So I feel like it was really, really successful. I got exactly what I came here for, and I didn't buy any houseplants. So I think I achieved my goal, and it was just so much fun just to shop around. I was not expecting it to warm up so much today. So when I woke up, it was 28 degrees this morning, and I just bundled up. I have multiple layers on right now, and I took off my vest when I got here because it's now in the 50s. So I'm very confused that it warmed up so quickly this morning, but maybe it just didn't get as cold in Austin as it did where I live. I live about an hour north of here, so I don't know, but I'm probably gonna actually have the AC on in my car because I'm so warm now. But it was still a really fun morning plant shopping. I feel like I needed this personally, just a really nice, relaxing morning looking at all the plants. It's always just so much fun. Even if you walk around and don't really buy anything, it's still a really good time, and I just really enjoyed it. But if you like this video, make sure to give me a thumbs up down below and subscribe so you don't miss anything from me here on the channel. Thanks for coming along today, and I'll catch you in the next one.